Sabrina Spellman is a half witch, half human, and an orphan who is about to turn 16 on Halloween, and she has to take part in dark baptism on her birthday, which means that she will pledge her soul to the Dark Lord or Satan himself. To take part in the ceremony, she has to leave everyone behind, her mortal friends and everyone from the human world. Dark Lord sends a witch who takes the form of Sabrina's teacher, Miss Wardwell, to make sure that Sabrina goes through with the ceremony. The night of baptism arrives and Sabrina heads to the woods, but when she sees the ceremony and that she has to sign in the Book of Beasts, she ran from there and everyone chases after her. She reaches at her house. Ambrose makes a protection spell to help her. The night judge sues the Spellman family, and at the trial Zelda reveals that Sabrina was actually Catholically baptized before, which meant her soul has already been promised to the god. Father Blackwood and others decided that she can remain half human as long as she attends the Academy of Unseen Arts. Aunt Hilda got excommunicated from the church for participating in Sabrina's Catholic baptism. Sabrina solves an arcane riddle which released a demon who puts everyone asleep and tortures them. Afterwards, Sabrina, with the help of her cat, defeats the demon and finds out that Miss Wardwell is not who she seems to be. She confronts her, who is actually Lilith. Madam Satan lies to her and tells her that she was close to her father and was charged to protect her. Sabrina's friend reach out to her and tell her about Susie's uncle Jesse, who's possessed by a demon named Apophis, and she exorcises him out. But Miss Wardwell kills Jesse with a heart attack. Spellman is tasked with hosting a big fall festival which includes eating another witch, who's chosen through a lottery. And the lottery is won by Prudence, the leader of the Weird Sisters. Prudence is the daughter of Father Blackwood, and due to that he tries to cancel the event, but another witch slits her own throat and everyone starts eating. The Weird Sisters try to kill Harvey, but he survives the mine collapse, but his brother died. At Tommy's funeral, Rosalind discovers that she has the power to see in the future and past, called the Cunning, which shows her that Tommy was killed by the Weird Sisters. After Sabrina learns of it, she goes out to resurrect Tommy, where she killed Agatha but brought her back as well by using the same method as Zelda does on Hilda. Tommy came back but his soul was stuck in limbo. Sabrina goes to save him but fails at the very end. Sabrina finally tells Harvey that she is a witch and Tommy is not Tommy. Harvey kills his brother himself and breaks up with Sabrina. Sabrina also admits to Susie and Ross that she is a witch. Satan is pissed that Sabrina hasn't signed her name yet and resurrects Greendale 13, the witches killed by the town centuries ago. All the witches go to the church to wait it out while Sabrina and her family conjures a tornado to force mortals to hide in Baxter's High. Sabrina signs her name in the book as Miss Wardwell told her that this is the only way to save everyone. Sabrina gets her full powers and kills the 13 witches. At the very end, Madam Satan reveals her endgame, that she wants to become the Dark Queen of Hell and eats the principal of Baxter High. Also, Zelda stole one of Lady Blackwood's twin child but gives it to an elder, Desmelda, to be raised in the woods. In part 2, Sabrina decided to attend the academy full time and to run against Nick for top boy position. But the school is not so supportive of her decision and was attacked by 3 demons called the Plague Kings to prevent her from reaching the top spot. At Baxter High, Miss Wardwell has taken the position of principal. Sabrina visits the Baxter High and helps Susie, who goes by Theo now, with basketball. Aunt Zelda asks Father Blackwood to go public about their relationship and he says no. Dark Lord reveals his plan for Sabrina to Miss Wardwell, that he wants to make her his herald, but she wasn't convinced. And to show her the real nature of Sabrina's soul, the Dark Lord goes to Sabrina and asks her to pack a gum, which sounds silly but everything has a meaning. Sabrina of course refuses it. And in retaliation, the Dark Lord marks Sabrina with a witch's mark and threatens to murder Harvey and demands that Sabrina burns down the Baxter High. But just as Sabrina was about to do it, the Dark Lord stops her and in reward, he gives her the leading role in the academy play. Harvey and Rosalind are now dating. On Valentine's Day, the witches have their own tradition which includes a lot of sex, but it got interrupted by Nick's familiar, a wolf who's jealous of Sabrina, and she kills it. Father Blackwood proposes to Zelda. The preparation of Zelda and Blackwood's wedding are going despite Sabrina and Weird Sisters' protest against it. Helda gets reinstated in the church. A ghost of Sabrina's father's appears in front of her and tells her that Father Blackwood was responsible of his and her mother's death. That ghost was actually Miss Wardwell manipulating Sabrina. She tells Sabrina that her father was on his way to Rome to present his manifesto to the anti-pope. Sabrina sends Nick through a portal to retrieve it from the ocean. Sabrina goes to anti-pope, who's there for the wedding, and gives him the manifesto. At the night, as Prudence was about to kill Blackwood as he won't give her his last name, someone screams as they discover the anti-pope dead. Ambrose got framed for it and Father Blackwood became the new anti-pope. At the wedding, Sabrina and Nick disguises themselves as Sabrina's parents and accuses Father Blackwood of murder. But that doesn't work and Sabrina got expelled from the academy. The witch hunters who murdered Luke comes back to the town and set upon the academy and starts killing. The witch hunters are preparing to burn the witches, but Sabrina shows up and saves everyone with her newfound powers after signing the book and heals Ambrose as well. At Ambrose's trial, Sabrina exposes Blackwood to the Dark Lord and he frees Ambrose and strips Blackwood of his position. Sabrina commits to fulfilling her father's dream about uniting the witch and mortal worlds. Sabrina and friends finds a mural in the mines where Sabrina is shown to bring forth the apocalypse as right hand of Satan. Miss Wardwell tells Sabrina to make a Mandrake doppelganger and transfer her powers to it and kill it, which will get rid of her powers, making it impossible for the prophecy to come true. But the clone escaped and Sabrina kills it with a gun. Sabrina completes the final component of bringing the Dark Lord to the world and he arrives in a human form and tells Sabrina that he's her father. Lilith is pissed with the Dark Lord and forms an alliance with the Spellman family. Dark Lord attempts to open the gates of hell. Sabrina comes up with a plan to trap the Dark Lord, but at the last minute Nick sacrifices himself and traps the Dark Lord in his body. Lilith takes the mantle of Queen of Hell and takes Nick with her after restoring Sabrina's powers and resurrecting the real Miss Wardwell. Father Blackwood is on the run. Helda and Zelda takes over the academy, who now worships Lilith. At the very end, we see Ambrose and Prudence going on the hunt for Father Blackwood and Sabrina vowing to go to hell and get Nick back. Sabrina goes to Dorian Gray for a portal to hell and he agrees. In return, he asked for a flower of evil from the forest of torment. Sabrina crowned Lilith the new queen of hell in the previous season, but due to the politics of hell, it wasn't that simple. Hell, which has always been led by kings, did not see Lilith as a legitimate ruler. In exchange for Nick and Dark Lord trapped inside him, Sabrina was forced to accept her birthright as the Queen of Hell. But she appointed Lilith as her regent, due to which the others sensed weakness and the kings brought their own claim to the throne, Caliban, who challenged Sabrina to a quest for unholy regalia. Caliban cheated to win, but Sabrina eventually turned back the time itself and won. Due to going back in time, she created a paradox where two of her existed at the same time. Sabrina used this as an opportunity where she can live like a normal teenager and rule the hell at the same time. Season 3 introduced the pagan witches and their conflict with the satanic witches. They arrived to Greendale and organized a carnival. Robin showed up at Baxter's High to get a virgin to be sacrificed to the Green Man, but he ended up falling in love with Theo and found a new home in Greendale. The Green Man caused the end of all flesh on Earth, but Sabrina and the Coven fought the pagans and won after she went back in time. Ambrose and Prudence traveled the world hunting Blackwood. When Blackwood escaped, he took Prudence's baby siblings Judas and Judith with him. With the help of Mambo Mary, they found him in Scotland, where he summoned a creature from Loch Ness Monster who gave him a time egg. Blackwood and his children had experienced time differently during the month he was gone. After housing the Dark Lord, when Sabrina freed Nick, Blackwood got the time egg and performed a ritual that gave birth to a mysterious creature.